So if you like running, that's fine, but you should still prioritize your weightlifting and recognize that the running is not necessary for you to lose fat. It'll help you burn fat more efficiently, but if you over rely on running, your body's gonna perceive that, oh, we're not doing a lot of heavy lifting, so we don't need this muscle here, and we're in a calorie deficit and we're doing all this running, which is burning a lot of calories, so let's get rid of some of this muscle at the same time we're getting rid of fat.
Hello, Aaron Kubitz, personal trainer at ContentRequestsFAEC, where we're helping average guys perform better in their life outside the gym. Have you ever wondered why some guys seem to kill themselves at the gym and yet their body fails to reflect all the hard work that they're putting in? In today's video, I'm going to go over some common reasons why this might be. At the end of the video, if you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to put them in the comment section below, as this helps other individuals who may benefit from this content to find it. And of course, if you like the information, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing for more content like this. Again, this is Aaron Kubitz, personal trainer at ContentRequestsFAEC, helping average guys move better in their life outside the gym.
So I was watching a video by one of these strength fitness guys and stuff like that, and he's a strong man, and the guy that he was in the video with was saying they're talking about nutrition and everything, and this guy who does strongman stuff was talking about how he was cutting down his weight a little bit because he has gotten too big building up to the strongman competition. He got up to about 240 pounds. And he's like, for me, that's just too big, And so he was cutting back and everything. And so the guy was asking him, how much were you eating? Or what were you eating for your strongman competition and stuff? And he's like, well, I was eating this thing. There's this professional bodybuilder. His name is Stan Everding. And he had this meal thing that he called Monster Mash, which is essentially, he had ground bison, rice, and then spinach mixed in with it, and you eat that 4 or 5 times a day or whatever. And he was like, it's great for building muscle. And so this kind of made me think about something. Excuse me. There we go. Gotta make sure I work on my public image here, pluck those eyelashes out. So this made me think about how, few years back, I don't know if it was 2018 or something like that, on my Facebook business page, I posted a post saying, are you eating for mass, or are you training for fat loss and eating for muscle gain? Because somebody who was also watching the video with me, they commented, they're like, well, that kind of scares me because I feel like that's a healthy thing to eat, spinach, rice, and burger or something like that, right? I feel like that would be a healthy thing for me to eat. And I agree, it is a healthy thing to eat, but health and weight loss are not synonymous. If you're overweight and you need to lose some weight, then losing that weight might be a part of your overall health strategy. But you can also be eating healthy food and gaining weight as well. So they're not tied together. There's a lot of different nuance there. But in this post, I essentially talked about how sometimes you're doing all the exercise, you're running, people will try to run farther, they'll be doing marathon training, all these different kinds of things, and they think that this is going to help them lose the weight, right? But when they eat, they're eating a diet that, maybe has a lot of processed carbs, maybe it has, whole grains, but they're eating a lot of potatoes, rice. Maybe they're eating cookies and maybe have a piece of cheesecake or some dessert, or they're drinking pop or something like that, or all these other high carbohydrate foods. And there's nothing wrong with carbohydrates, right? Our body actually prefers to run on carbohydrates. But if you're trying to lose fat, carbohydrates are going to keep your insulin levels higher. And when it comes to burning fat, you want to have your human growth hormone higher. So insulin and human growth hormone basically have this inverse relationship. So when the insulin is higher, your human growth hormone is automatically going to be lower. So that means that fat burning is going to be suppressed, and the emphasis is going to be placed on storing nutrients, so glycogen, and if you eat too much, storing fat, and then also building and repairing tissues. And this is why when I talk about mass gain, if you're trying to build more muscle or you're trying to become a better athlete and you're training really hard in the gym, it's good to have higher insulin levels, have more carbohydrates in there, because you're going to have bigger glycogen stores, which means you're going to be able to push harder. You know, when you're doing high intensity work, most of that relies on something called adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, and that is primarily derived from carbohydrates. That's what's going to allow you to push really hard. Now, if you're in a fat burning state, you know, so your carbohydrates are lower, hence your human growth hormone is higher, allowing you to burn more fat, it's going to, you know, you're going to be burning fat, you're going to be losing weight, but your performance in the gym might start suffering a little bit, right? Especially in strength type movements and power type movements. So like if you're trying to sprint or you're trying to do a max deadlift or max bench press, when you're in the dieting phase is not the time when you're trying to do these. You try to maintain where you're at, but you're probably not going to be setting any PRs. So in a nutshell, when you're trying to lose weight, you not only have to focus on doing the exercise, you know, and just as a little caveat here, you don't need to do any cardio to get lean. You can do a powerlifting style of training, lifting heavy, doing deadlifts, squats, bench presses, and stuff like that. And if you eat an appropriate diet, you can get lean without doing any running at all. So if you like running, that's fine, but you should still prioritize your weightlifting and recognize that the running is not necessary for you to lose fat. It'll help you burn fat more efficiently, but if you over rely on running, your body's gonna perceive that, oh, we're not doing a lot of heavy lifting, so we don't need this muscle here, and we're in a calorie deficit and we're doing all this running, which is burning a lot of calories, so let's get rid of some of this muscle at the same time we're getting rid of fat. And so you're essentially going to become a smaller version of what you were before. So ideally what you want to do when you're trying to lose fat is keep your protein levels the same or a little bit higher than they were when you were not dieting. So whatever you were eating before, figure out how many calories you're eating total, then figure out how much protein you're eating on average per day, because you should be eating a balanced diet. So like having that burger, having that bison and rice and spinach, or having the salad with the chicken and the rice, you know, that's what you should be doing when you're not trying to lose weight, right? And then when you are trying to lose weight, figure out, okay, how many total calories am I eating on average? And then reduce that by 10 to 20%. And those calories should come first from simple sugars, then from complex carbohydrates like rice and bread and things like that. And then if you still need to cut back a little bit more, then it can come from dietary fat, but you never want to reduce the amount of protein that you're eating. Keep your protein the same all the time, maybe even bump it up a little bit, but reduce your carbohydrates first, then reduce the fat, and then and then most of the time you can achieve a calorie deficit simply by reducing some of your carbohydrates. And this doesn't mean completely eliminate carbohydrates. It means achieve a 20% reduction, 10 to 20% reduction in total calories, and start by first removing those from carbohydrate calories. If you haven't achieved a 10% calorie reduction or 20% calorie reduction, then you can cut back a little bit on the dietary fat. But that's, in a nutshell, how you want to proceed when you're trying to cut back and get lean and not lose your muscles and lose fat. All right, guys, a little bit of a lengthy video here. I hope that I didn't bore you too much with the details. Hopefully it made some sense. If there's anything that doesn't quite make sense and you'd like me to clear up and that I wasn't clear enough in this video, please leave me some questions in the comments below. I'd love to answer your questions. We'll see you all next time for more health and fitness related information. Thanks, guys.